Welcome to the Bikepack Adventures podcast. I am your host, Chris Panaski. This podcast was created so as to share the stories of bike tours, bikepackers, and endurance racers from around the world as they embark on amazing adventures. Through their stories, you'll be able to learn the ins and outs of bike travel. You'll get insight into various countries and cultures, hear fantastic stories of their journeys, and through both mine and my guests' experiences, you'll learn about the pros and cons of specific gear, bikes, and bike setups. If you're new to bike travel and considering going on an adventure, I hope the podcast provides you with that extra little bit of motivation to make it happen. All right, welcome back to the Bikepack Adventures podcast for the Bikepacking Essentials mini-series. Carl, it's good to have you here.
Good to be there again.
Not too cold, are you?
A little bit, but it's fine.
I didn't turn the heat on in my garage until today, so here we are trying not to freeze. Yeah, today we are going to be talking about, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about bike and tire. And then
Two things you love.
That's my favorite thing in the world. So this podcast is going to be at least 4 hours. 4
hours. Prepare for the deep dive. Yeah, bikes and tires. What actually matters? I think today's segue from last episode on roots is really good because I still feel roots is the number one thing, and bikes and tires definitely my 2 and 3.
Let's try to convince ourselves today that we don't need a new bike.
All right, so I'm going to start off with a little something here and just kind of say that you don't need a new bike to start bike packing. Most people.
Yeah, that's not what most of the internet would say.
Well, I'd say the internet's wrong.
Still, if someone shows up on the wrong bike, it can literally ruin a trip. So,
what's the wrong bike?
I mean, it's not necessarily a brand of bike, but it's a wrong tuned bike, a broken bike, or something like that.
Penny farthing.
A penny farthing. Yeah. My opinion is the wrong bike can make it or break it, but what's your opinion?
I think probably a road bike for most bikepacking adventures is not the right bike. Not to say you can't start bikepacking with one.
Yeah.
But I'd say in general, I don't know, a Cervelo P5 time trial bike, not a great bikepacking bike.
Depends, but no. In general, no. But at the beginning.
I might even say a folding bike, but they make some pretty awesome folding bikes now that...
The Alpaca.
Bike Friday Alpaca is a sick bike. I have a New World Tourist, which is more of their touring steel frame bike. It's a fantastic bike. My wife has a Birdie. It's got front and back suspension. It's quite cozy. It's nice.
Those are really capable bikes.
Fun little bike. I wouldn't want to do single track on it though. Anyways, that's not what we're not here just to name drop a whole bunch of bikes. But yeah, folding bikes I wouldn't necessarily put in that list of bikes you want to bike pack with too much, but they do make some that are great for it now.
Could you start with it?
Yeah. Sure, why not? I
mean,
it has wheels. It can go on gravel roads.
So I think in the beginning, the bike is less important. So we could probably talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. Let's talk about what matters. I think most people get stuck into the whole bike thing, and we talked about it last episode where people put more emphasis on bikes than even on the routes they're going to ride. And, we've all been there. You have nice bikes. I have nice bikes.
I'm guilty.
I read tons of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I really go into, and I know a lot of people do, into that rabbit hole of bike research, when I was looking at bikes or even I'm sponsored by Panorama. I have Panorama bikes and still I read articles. And I'm like, ooh, look at this new bike on the market. Ooh, look at this bike. I look at everything. I just love reading about bikes. 32-inch wheels.
Yeah.
The new best thing, right?
Yeah.
Comparing specs, with bikes, I would say specs is more in the gearing and stuff, componentry. But there's some aspects of specs, how big a tire width you can hold versus, things like head tube slack don't mean as much to me as they would to you.
All the small details, but yeah, it's head tube, seat tube, angles and stuff like that. Yeah.
If you dive into it real deep, I guess you can start to figure out what it means.
Yeah.
I love watching reviews. I think, lots of people out there do. We tend to YouTube videos are fun and people talk about stuff they're using and it's always good. It's a nice way to kill time and learn about different things. And of course, with that comes a whole bunch of second guessing yourself. And you're like, I'm going to get this bike. No, I'm going to get this bike.
Is this setup is the
Is
the
this the one I
best,
need?
or like is this yeah.
Yeah. And then you just never feel, I think, like you're ready. You're
Yeah.
ready for the bike that you're thinking of. And like, maybe I'm not good enough for that bike. I should get this.
All those sleepless night, like you're supposed to have them on the bike. You're supposed to not sleep on the bike if you're doing like you're not supposed like to over like think everything. Yeah.
Take all those hours you spent researching bikes and spend it on a bike you already have.
Yeah.
Get out there and ride and get a little bit sleep deprived and go have a good time. And now you're a bike packer.
I guess like people spend more time like nerding about the bike than actually like riding the bike on the first time. Like that's just, I'm guilty of that because like how many times we went on a trip and I was like, oh yeah, this bike. And then you said like, oh, and the route is going through Gatineau Park. It's like, which part? I haven't looked at the map.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's easy to.
I would say I'm not as guilty of that. I am now.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
No.
then.
You were more of a like.
I was
just go.
I was green. And even that bike, like my first bike packing trips, and we'll talk more about it. Mountain bikes, road bikes, folding bikes, and I didn't have a particularly good bike packing setup. And when I did get a bike packing setup and everything, I actually got sponsored by Outdoor Gear Canada, and they make Opus. So that was what I bought because I'm like, well, I'm getting a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm going to get, and I'm going to make it work. And it was fantastic for the 2.5 years I used it, maybe 3. I had a great time.
Yeah.
And, I didn't have to go down that rabbit hole of researching a whole bunch of stuff. I used what I had access to, and it was great.
Yeah. I mean, like, did you, like, I have to say that I actually delayed my first trip just because I was like, you know what? It needs to be perfect. Like, I was going with a bike, and then I started like, oh, no, that would be better. And then I overspent on the bike completely.
I did, too. I mean, I overspent because it was like, well, we were just moving to Canada. We didn't have a ton of money. We were trying to, like, start a life here. We moved to Canada with maybe 7 suitcases between the two of us, Seema and I, and we shipped a few boxes of things like pictures and stuff. So we didn't have a ton of stuff, and like going out and buying an expensive bike was low on the priority list. So really, I was lucky to have OGC sponsor me with this new podcast at the time. And so I bought everything that they sold. So I had one brand's bags. I had their bike brand.
And did you have any route in mind? Because like you got the bike, but was it matching with?
Not at that time, because I actually, well, yes. Yeah, I guess I did. Because when I bought that bike, I was more focused on the idea of ultra endurance racing.
Yeah, okay.
So my thoughts were the North Cape 4000 and the Trans-Pyrenees bike race.
Mostly FKTs.
Mostly FKT style road racing. I bought Continental GP 5000 tires. So I wasn't really looking at the whole gravel thing yet. At that time, I was... My goal was road endurance.
Yeah. Okay, like a little bit like the not the Ram, but like the transcontinental, like
TCR.
TCR. Yeah.
So I would say, my routes that I had figured out that I wanted, and then I got the bike to match those routes. And ultimately, I never did any of that.
Yeah,
COVID happened, but
and then you ended up.
And I overspent. I spent a ton, and I had to get a side job that first summer so that we're not spending family budget. And I was like, hope for Revenue Canada's not listening. So I was doing some just work around people's houses and stuff to make some cash to go towards this bike.
Yeah, because like you can get this wrong. You can get very wrong and spending a lot of money, and you can like have sleepless night, but like you did, your bike was optimized for speed over comfort.
Yeah, and I would say, and that comfort was because I was on paved roads. It was fairly comfortable.
Yeah, okay. But after that,
as I got more into bike packing, yeah, I mean, I did some great adventures on it. A couple more FKTs.
Yeah.
Um,
Not on those.
really,
Not on those GP 5000.
not on those GP 5000s. No, I was riding WTB 44
Yeah.
Rattlers, is it?
Yeah. More on that later, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was riding the biggest tire I could fit in that bike, but it was still hard on the body. So, anyways, yeah, what goes wrong when people get this whole bike thing wrong? you
Yeah.
know?
Like I said, like you get your speed, you get wrong tire. How about the fit? Were you comfortable on that bike?
I was about as comfortable as I could be. I was. Well, I remember the one time we rode a route and I could barely walk after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
old men walking.
I
yeah.
looked like an 80-year-old person who had been tilling a field for years and couldn't stand up straight. Yeah, I was not in good shape. So yeah, poor fit. I didn't even get a bike fit in those days, so I just
Oh yeah.
rode the bike.
Just went raw. Wow.
Interestingly, when I finally did get a bike fit, side note here, sidebar. Interestingly, when I did get a bike fit, the bike fitter said, I almost never see people with their bike that is so closely matched to exactly where it needs to be. With the exception a little bit of the handlebar adjustment, like for grips and stuff and like positioning of your forearms. My cleats, he's like within like maybe not even a millimeter off. Like he's like, I'm maybe adjusting for nothing. And saddle was very close as well.
But you spend a lot of time on this bike. So.
But I spent about 15,000 kilometers
Yeah.
pushing hard days. So
And
yeah.
was it reliable?
Until it wasn't. until I realized I didn't consider changing the drivetrain components earlier,
Oh yeah.
and then it started just dropping chains and chewing up carbon.
And then you need new wheels and stuff like that. So I would say
I exploded those wheels. Yeah.
so I would say, but let's jump to our next segment. Actually, like, the question is like, do you need a new bike?
I would say at some point is the short answer, but in reality, I think anybody can start bike packing on a hardtail mountain bike, for instance, gravel bike, a rigid mountain bike, or even some kind of like hybrid bikes, like a city bike, as long as the gearing is decent.
I saw someone doing like touring with a Bixie from Montreal.
With a what?
A Bixie, like
don't know
a
what that
share bike.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know how this share bike ended up there, but like, yep, everything is possible.
anything and everything is possible.
But but depending on the route that you plan, like there a bike that's gonna make it easier.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I think that, like Carl said, it's definitely any bike can do the job, and it just might not be the easiest way to get to the objective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's like that Bixie, guys. Like that bike riding, like the share bike is like, it can be the other way. Like riding like trails on the road bike, like you nearly did at your first time bike packing, you'll have a bad experience. That's
At some point, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I remember riding that Opus with you, and I'm a good mountain biker, and just bombing down the trails in the Gatineau Park, and Carl just being like, "Man, you got to slow down. This bike is it's not an enduro bike." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." By the end, I had a flat.
Yeah, and that's funny because I was back, and then I saw that you had flat, and then I could have just continued. Like if it was like an FKT or like a race, I could have just continued, and I would like been slower than you, but I would be in front of you just because I didn't have a flat.
And because you controlled the situation.
Exactly,
Yeah.
given the bike that I had, because
Rode
I was
the bike within the right limits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, I've definitely pushed bikes beyond what they should be riding on. But I think basically for most beginner routes, the bike won't really be the limiter of what somebody needs or can ride on. Like
Yeah.
if you're taking a route that is sensible for your experience level, and if you've never done multi-day routes with huge elevation or various types of terrain, you're going to choose something a little easier, that's a little shorter, that's a little, not to say smoother, still have lots of gravel.
Yeah.
I mean, you might hit some washboard and stuff, but like you probably don't want to make your first bikepacking trip something with a ton of single track, and unless you have a mountain bike and that's what you like to do, and you're like, you know what, I want to hit as much single track as I can, and I'm okay riding my big heavy mountain bike that's not necessarily made for this type of riding, but this is what I got.
So I don't think the question is, do I need a new bike? I think the question could be, like, after all that you said, like, what would be the question to ask? Like, do I need a new bike?
Does it fit me?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a given.
That's
if you can jump on it, that's good.
Yeah, can it handle the terrain? I guess, like, is it good for what I'm gonna ride? You know, like, is this bike good enough for the terrain? You know, like,
yeah, is it gonna snap in half, or am I gonna have fun? It's not always about the breaking point, but it's also about like a mental breaking point.
Yeah, and I guess gonna carry what I need, like, and as I get older, I'm more and more comfortable with a little more stuff. So I'm like, I'm kind of liking the racks and the micro panniers. And,
I love to hear that,
and
because
Carl's rubbing off on me.
I am not a minimalistic. I mean, like, what you need is the right.
I still don't have a chair.
Oh, you need a chair. The right tool for the job. Like, not the perfection, just the right tool for the job. Yeah. So it doesn't need to be like the latest and fanciest. It just needs to be the right tool. Yep.
Yeah, I give it that. Should we jump into, like, we kind of mentioned the types of bikes, some of the types of bikes earlier on. Maybe we can dive into various types of bikes and what are the pros and cons, or what are some of the good things.
Yeah.
Or, like, and our own experiences. We can tie this in with what we've ridden.
Yeah, because we rode everything anyway.
Yeah. I've even had a recumbent. I did not get along well with it.
No?
I could ride it decently, but it just never felt powerful. Gravel bikes, I guess, is a good starting point.
Yeah, I think it's a good pro of the gravel bike would be, like, it's an all-around bike. So
fast.
Yeah, it's fast. Oh, yeah. It's you can go everywhere. It doesn't feel like a big mountain bike.
Yeah.
And then it's lighter. So you can go everywhere lighter, and then it's smoother. So, like, it's a
now everywhere is a grain of salt, right? I would say mixed terrain, not necessarily everywhere. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, don't expect
some of the trails in the Gatineau Park might be pushing its limits.
Yeah, there's gonna be a gnarly limit, like.
And not to say you couldn't ride them. It's just that you might want to make sure you're an experienced mountain biker if you're going to ride some of those trails on a gravel bike.
Or you might break it easily.
Or break yourself.
Yeah. Or break yourself. Yeah. So,
what are some of the downsides of gravel bikes, in your opinion?
I would say it's less forgiving. It's like, that's the thing. It's not a mountain bike. So, like, you can ride it like a mountain bike, but it will never completely be a mountain bike.
What do you think about, like, adding products like suspension stems and seat posts? And will that redefine
it's not going to make
of the bike?
It's still not going to make it a mountain bike, but it can help bridge the gap. So getting closer to, like, if the limit was from road biking to mountain biking ish, like light, you can actually go, like, into, like, a little bit more mountain biking. It's going to help.
Mountain biking territory.
Yeah, exactly. Not down country, but, like, close by.
And I guess part of that too is just the tires on a gravel bike they limit you, right? Like, my Opus.
Yeah.
At that time, I think it actually held a fairly wide tire for the time that bike was around. Early.
Oh my God, I want to hear them.
And that was 44C tires.
Oh, it's, like, huge.
I think I put 45s on one point and it was going to rub, so I took it off.
Yeah. No, when you compare it to a, like, modern bike, like the Katadyn, like 2.1.
We both have one, actually.
The beautiful purple bike.
The way life goes.
Yeah. Now you can put, like, 2.1 on those, actually. You can, like, literally put, like,
and the front 2.25.
Yeah.
So 57 or something.
This is a mountain bike cross country back in the day.
And we're going to talk about tires, but, like, a Mezcal could fit on the front, and that's a fast rolling mountain bike tire.
Yeah. So the gravel bike changed, but, like, also it kind of, like, also bridged that gap back to the cross country bike. So it's kind of like, that's what I said, like, all around, but still it's a carbon frame.
I would almost say gravel bikes now are like mountain bikes of the 90s, except for the handlebars being different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like,
maybe they're better.
Yeah, even better. But yeah.
So if you have a 90s mountain bike kicking around the house and you're looking to do a first bikepacking trip,
Yeah.
It could be a really
Yeah,
great ride.
it's actually.
Hey,
But
here's Daniel LeBlanc. He has a message. I'm going to just read it here. I did my first 3 years bikepacking on a Norco Search XRS. Is that like really small?
It's a gravel.
With 42C tires and everything worked great. I only moved up to my drop bar mountain bike to get into more technical and remote routes.
Yep.
So with the experience, right? So
Yeah. We'll come back on that, but like, yeah, it's a lesson that you learn that actually make you wiser.
And I think also like gravel bikes are super fun. I really enjoy my bike, like with some routes. Like I think I talked about it, the bikes, boats, and bridges.
Yep.
It's mixed terrain, a little bit of rut pavement, some gravel. But it's also only 300 kilometers. And when you're on a bike that goes pretty quick, it's a one-night trip in my case, or not even a night, depending. I did it once, not a night. And once I did it with a night. And you know, it's a long day, but you're not having this like multi-day beatdown of your body.
Yeah, because like on the gravel bike, it can shake.
The camera's
you to the
going
core.
crazy. It's just moving back and forth for some reason. Oh, it really likes me.
So let's jump in. Let's jump into the next one. What would be?
I'd say your traditional hardtail
Yeah,
mountain bike.
the
right?
hardtail, the most popular one, in my opinion.
I think that's probably because a lot of people. I think it might be the bike a lot of people already have around the house. So
True.
not to say a super good one, but
It can be an old one, but it's still valid. We just talked about 90s mountain bike.
yeah, and I mean they can take on some really rough terrain. You know, like not jumps and stuff, but not loaded down anyways. But they can take on your single track, your double track, your black diamond trails. If you hit some that, as long as you control yourself and you don't go crazy, and then of course gravel roads, you can still go pretty quick.
Yeah,
you can get comfortable.
It can take a tumble as well. Like if you fall and then the bike just like hits something, it's not prone to cracking like a lighter gravel bike.
Right.
And you can also like put a lot more luggage on it because it's made for the extra weight.
Oh, that's a good point. And I think also suspension is nice and kind of lets your body rest up and not feel as worn out.
That little vibration damping is.
I moved this too much. I usually don't do this while I'm recording.
Yeah. The little vibration damping actually helps you. It helps with the fatigue. It's like you're riding and then it's like dampen the road and then all the imperfection. We know that the road around here they're not perfect even when they're paved. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're on a gravel road and it's been, like we said, freshly graded and stoned, and all of a sudden things get really hard, or it hasn't been, and you just boom, washboards, right? Like, and that would be why I say maybe a road bike is not great, because even if you want to get on some fairly like just gravel roads, you never know what you're gonna hit.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, yeah. What else? But do we talk about cons of mountain bikes? I don't know if you just did. I missed everything.
I mean, the cons are clear. If you compare them to a gravel
slower,
bike,
heavier.
Yep, it's a gravel bike. Compared to a gravel bike, it's like way heavier, and it might not be perfect as like a touring bike. It might be perfect for mountain biking and everything, but the angle is gonna be.
Yeah, and I would say like particularly like my first big tour was in Indonesia it was a BMC team machine or something, mountain bike. No, something else. I forget.
Yeah,
it was a mountain bike.
Mm-hmm. There was a team in it,
but that was in the days like I bought that bike in like 2012. People were buying undersized bikes because they were more nimble on the trails. But this also meant this bike it's a size small. I should be riding a medium at the minimum or a large.
You should be riding
with a longer stem, right? That's a bike my wife now rides, and she's 5'3", right? So get that. And it was great for mountain biking. I had a lot of fun. I did a lot of races and stuff in Malaysia. But for that tour, I did some big days. I did 100 and 200K days sometimes. Mm-hmm. But man, was I beat after. I was so sore. Yeah. And it was just not designed to be comfortable for a huge period of time, because you were guided to buy a bike that was the wrong size for you.
Yeah, you're just having like a little twitchy bike that is not like stable for long distance. But I mean, like, it's good if it's the bike that you have. I will hammer that down all the episodes.
I rode 1,500 kilometers on that bike across Indonesia.
Exactly.
I never oiled that chain.
No, that's horrible.
That was a mistake. I'm not making it sound like it was a great bike because of that. I pulled it off. It took a bit of effort, and it could balance. I could balance, find the middle point, and find the pendulum.
God.
When I replaced it in Bali.
No.
Anyways, that's a whole different learning lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Long story short, hardtail mountain bikes make bad routes survivable.
Yep.
Comfortable enough to carry on for another day, right?
Yep. You could ride everything on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rigid mountain bikes is another category of bikes. I would say I had a Chiru titanium mountain bike, and it was set up rigid, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
It was, you definitely had limits, but I mean, the great things about it was really simple. Like you didn't have to worry about how many hours have I ridden this bike? Should I get the front suspension serviced? It was super light. This bike, it's like a feather, right? And durable.
It's simple. Like there's nothing to break, so it's durable. Like we all rode a rigid because we both rode the Taiga EXP, and it was coming.
Didn't.
It was coming. No, you didn't.
I never had a Taiga EXP.
Oh no, that's true. Okay, I rode the Taiga EXP with the carbon fork, and it was really nimble. It was like so light at the front. I replaced it with a fork, and then all of a sudden the bike was not as playful as before. It was more comfortable, but not as playful. I also had
you took away some of the pros that made cons, and then on the other hand, some cons became pros. So like
I mean, yeah, exactly. I had to make it less nimble to make it more comfortable over like distance. So it's less comfortable over like rough terrains, but yeah, it's like I had a Surly Ogre, and it was like a
what's that bike like? I don't even remember.
Actually, I just modern touring bike. What's left of them are great.
Daniel.
No.
Sorry, that's I don't know who Big D is.
Hi, Big D's.
That's quite the name.
Actually, it reminds me of my Surly Ogre. That was a touring bike. That was a heavy touring bike, like the one that actually when the first is on the picture of the first podcast we did together.
Oh, okay.
And it was a touring bike, and this bike I could do bikepacking with it. I can do touring with it. I can do anything with it. That bike was a tank, also with the weight. So that was the cons.
Built to survive the apocalypse.
Everything.
But
it's a
limiter.
I wanted to go tour the world with this bike, and then COVID hit.
And if you were going to go on a 15-year world tour, this is the kind of bike you want. Something super strong, maybe.
Maybe my opinion changed since a couple of years. Yeah.
I mean, like they said, modern touring bikes. Yeah, what's left of them are great. Like, and you still see Koga World Tours for sale in bike shops.
Yep.
And they're better than ever. They can accommodate huge tires compared to like, for a long time, they were limited. We really limited a lot of these touring bikes to road plus size tires. And now they're,
I think a modern
2.25,
modern touring bike, or what a modern touring bike should be these days, is the Boreal from Panorama. It's like chunky, big.
And big on that note,
yeah, it's like it's a solid bike, and then
it can accommodate like 3-inch tires.
Oh yeah, you can do everything with it. So like that's your complete freedom. You can go around the world with this one.
Yeah, I think let's talk about drop bar mountain bikes. I think, I've never had one. I've never owned one.
Really?
No, I had the Taiga mountain
You
bike.
had your Opus that was like a drop bar, but like
it was a gravel bike.
That's true. I just realized I never had a like a drop bar mountain bike.
I feel like I'm missing out. I need to go spend some money.
I think actually you missed out long enough that you actually don't need it.
I missed the whole thing.
Yeah, you missed the whole thing. And
we're
then
going to get into that in a minute, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, drop bar mountain bikes, I guess like as opposed to a normal mountain bike, you just have a lot more hand options, right? You got the tops, the drops, the hoods.
Yeah.
As opposed to a mountain bike, you got your grips.
You got your grips. It changed lately, but more on that later. But it's also like more natural position. So like when you
being like your arm extended,
and then when you stand like with your arms beside you. Your hands are never like front, like the palm of your hands never front, or
You
like the
don't
back
walk
of your
like
hand.
gorillas.
Like gorillas, yeah. You walk with your hands sideways. So like it's the same thing on your bar. So it's more natural, and then your elbow will work more inward than backward. So that it's more natural. It's more comfortable over a long distance.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And like capability on rough terrain is
Still
is it on par with a mountain bike? Or is
no.
it just a little bit less? It's kind of like that shoulder season of mountain biking.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on the drop bar,
Okay.
actually, because
Tell
like
me.
there is some drop bar that are actually not flare, and then that could feel like twitchy. If you put like a roll bar on the drop bar mountain bike, it will feel too narrow and then twitchy. But like
Right.
some of the
And then there's like the Walmart bar, which by Curve, which is like super
exactly
wide, right?
like the beacon from Richie that is like you're riding literally like open, completely
Working
open.
your lats all day.
Oh yeah, all day. So like I would say this is a good hybrid, but if you go there, maybe you need a drop. Maybe you need a flat bar.
Right.
So,
You're getting to the point where you need that much control.
yeah.
Interesting. And I guess like the other big difference is a drop bar mountain bike, really stable and loaded, right? Like you've been riding one for a few years now.
Yeah. I love it. It's just like you can like put your hand somewhere else, and then you just like look at something, and it's just like stable.
Did you have your Taiga EXP2 for 2 years? 3?
2 years actually.
2, right?
I had the original. I think no, it was not the 2. It was the Taiga 1, and then the 3 was there.
Now it's the 3.
Now it's the 3. So I had the 1.
Oh, you had the 1. Okay.
Yeah.
And the original
Yeah.
Taiga EXP, and now you're waiting to get the EXP3.
Now I'm waiting to get the XP3. I'm really impatient about that, actually.
Simon, if you're listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I guess it's positionally, like when you compare your Taiga EX, I just don't want to keep talking about Panorama, but I do. When you compare your drop bar mountain bike to your gravel bike, it's a little bit more relaxed position.
Yeah.
It's a little easier on the back, the neck, the arms, the shoulders, all that stuff.
There's always like the fit that you can change, but like from the base, like it's still going to be more relaxed. It's still going to feel a little bit longer and a little bit more upright than the Katahdin, let's say, that it's more aggressive, that I fit this way as well.
What would you say some of the downsides are?
I mean, it's like I just said, it's not as stable as a mountain bike on a drop bar because you don't have as much leverage on
and the braking, I guess, too, right? Because if you're on the tops and you're trying to brake, you're kind of gripping low. But if you're on the drops, now you're really low position, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you're that's a good point. Also, like you kind of like only holding the top of the hood and not really like you're not gripping the grip and then just braking with one finger. So could be more dangerous riding. Like
now I know you're a Shimano fan, but SRAM has come out with these like one finger brakes, and they're so awesome.
Yeah, but Shimano as well. So like you can be.
Is it like now it's just so highly evolved, right? Like,
there, everything is good. I'm not going anywhere with that. Yeah.
All right, Daniel LeBlanc says here, though, drop bar bikes with cruise control grips, the Redshift cruise control grips is super comfortable all day long in any hand position.
I cannot more agree. Like, I cannot agree more with that.
And not just the cruise control tops and drops. Like, I find the tops twist a little bit on me after a while, and I have to probably do an unwrap or try to jerk them upright. And I'm not talking like one ride. I'm talking over a period of months.
Yeah.
But the drops are awesome.
I'm riding a comp, a Richie comp. So there's
the one with the...
They're kind of like a little bent on the drop, but also a flat up top. So I never rode the...
okay.
Yeah, I never rode the top one, but like the bar, the grip at the bar at the drop. Oh, God, this is the best thing that happens on the bike.
And actually, to complete another little side note, sidebar, I love those drop grips on any bike I use to tour. Like if I'm going to go travel and I use it, and bikepacking is like this too, because you're always seeing your bike up against stuff. And if you have them beautifully wrapped with nice tape, they get torn apart. Yeah. But if you have These drop grips, they're rubber and they're comfy, and if you drop the bike, you're not going to tear apart your
For me,
ends.
for me, it's just like it spread the load, and then you don't have like that single spot on your hand, and then
Yeah,
you can actually
absolutely.
rest. Yeah.
Um,
Like about everything that we just spoke, like my thought is that like mountain bikes are better for to start bikepacking. I think that's the good bike to, if you have it, it's a good bike.
especially for beginners, I guess I would agree. I think there's less room for error as opposed to having something like a gravel bike and trying to take on, like, if you go and purpose buy a gravel bike before bikepacking saying this is what I need, you might end up hitting routes and stuff that you're not ready for and
Yep.
unplanned, right? So it's, if you have a mountain bike, it's a great first bike to use. And if you're only going to buy one bikepacking bike and you want to build up a nice rig that can kind of do everything, most of it well,
Yep.
a mountain bike or drop bar mountain bike is
Yep.
a fantastic option.
Could be like the 75% or 80% of good everything, 20% bad at everything, but like most of it is like good. It's really good.
All right, well, before we jump into our conclusions, should we throw in a little advertisement here of the new, just released Panorama Taiga EXP 3?
The one that I'm waiting for.
The one you're waiting for. Before we jump back into the episode, I want to thank the sponsor of the Bikepacking Essentials miniseries, Panorama Cycles. The Taiga EXP 3 sits right in that space between a gravel bike and a mountain bike. Available with either a drop bar or flat bars, this bike is built to handle rough terrain, big tires, and fully loaded bikepacking setups. So if your route involves a lot of dirt trails or really remote roads, it is designed to stay stable and comfortable when things get rough. The Taiga EXP3 is built from Reynolds 725 steel, striking a perfect balance between strength and comfort, absorbing trail bumps while remaining responsive. What I love most is the wide tire clearance, allowing you to experiment with different tires for gravel, dirt, or technical trails. And the geometry keeps it playful yet stable, even when loaded with gear. Over the past couple of seasons, it's become clear that frame materials and tire choice are just as important as brand or color. The right combo makes the bike feel like an extension of your body. If your bikepacking routes lean more towards a mix of gravel roads and forest trails, then this is the type of bike that really shines. And that actually brings us perfectly back to today's topic, because choosing the right bike and tire plays such a critical role in having a successful bikepacking trip. Before we jump back into the episode, hey, we are back. I forgot to turn off the loop on that, and it was just about to restart. So let's, before we give our conclusions, talk about that bike a real bit, because you were saying changes are coming, and I've never joined that drop bar mountain bike plan, and I might be too late.
You might be too late. Actually, I don't know if you're too late, but
now the pictures I had, I used the screen page from the drop bar version, but they do come stock. The original plan is that it's a flat bar, drop bar mountain bike.
Yeah, they found a way to make it drop bar and flat bar compatible, but it's by using a drop bar from Ritchie that actually swept back. So it changed the geometry. So with a shorter stem and then this handlebar and then shallow grip. Yeah, the shallow drop, but actually like let's make it like your reach is shallower. So like your brakes are closer to you. So it can be used as a drop bar.
Now, did Ritchie design this bar specifically
the Sausalito,
mountain bikes?
Exactly for that, yeah. Now that being said, it's 5 centimeters longer, if my memory is right, than the previous Taiga EXP2. So,
like the frame itself.
Yeah. So if you have an EXP2 and you're like, oh, now it's coming in flat bar version, you cannot really do what I'm going to do for my next bike. And what they did actually, they jumped into the bandwagon of flat bar mountain bike.
So it's like a flat bar, drop bar mountain bike, because it's still not a mountain bike in the sense of like the Taiga. Mountain bike, or it's like, what would you call it? Like, how does this? Where does this fit in the line of bikes?
It's a bikepacking bike.
It's a bikepacking bike.
Yeah, it's a real, because like also the frame is bigger, So
And the suspension would be a little bit different than like my Taiga I used for 2 years, where I had 140,
Yeah,
140 mil,
this one is
pretty
built.
good squish, single track bike.
Yeah, this one is built around 120. You
Okay.
could probably put 130, but like it's built around 120 because it's the carbon fork, the stock carbon fork is
Suspension corrected to
suspension
120.
corrected at 20% sag, but also it's coming with a steel fork this year. So you can put a steel fork with bags and stuff. So it's really a good bike packing bike, like a really core bike packing bike.
So like where you're saying like you're looking at something like the Taiga EXP3 or the Boreal are like kind of your supreme big adventure bikes.
Yeah, Boreal would be more touring.
Okay.
The Taiga
or
EXP,
like ultra long distance, like ultra long time.
Yeah, exactly. And then you don't want anything to break. Has a Taiga EXP3 would be more your I would say now classic because it's been long enough, but like classic bike packing bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm going flat bar. Actually.
And you're going flat bar.
I'm going flat bar.
Joining the bandwagon.
Because there's so many attachment now that you can put on the handlebar and then like the aero bar as well. That
people use the inner grips and the
exactly.
too sometimes.
There's a way to make it as
comfortable. You still call them bullhorns? What do you call them? Bar ends? Bar ends.
Integrated handlebar extension, like something cool that's specialized with market.
Yeah. So I guess our big conclusions is when we talk about bikes, before we started talking about tires, we said it a few times. Use what you have to start. At least I said it. You were kind of more of saying, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, so that basically, actually, your big point was like, yeah, if you're going to use what you have to start, at least you're learning what's missing, right? You're figuring out what you're missing so you know what bike to get next.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to create like an experience, and then with that experience, you know what you would need to go further. So
and I guess if we were to put some scenarios to that, one would be like, if you're using a whatever bike and you're like, man, I wish I could go faster because I'm riding mostly smooth gravel roads and pavement paths, and well, maybe a gravel bike is perfect for you, right?
Yep.
But if alternately you're using this bike and you're like, man, this is really, really hard on the single track of Gano Park or Mont Saint Marie, and I wish I wasn't scared of death all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe a mountain bike is good for you. Whereas
With
if
as
it's a
wide
good mix, you want a Taiga EXP3, like a drop bar, flat bar mountain bike.
Yeah,
Bike packing bike.
Like as wide of a tire that you can get, actually. Like, yeah. But I would say if you can choose a bike that is made for bike packing. I know it's all marketing and everything, but like they're gonna think about it with bike packing in mind. They're gonna create the bike with bike packing. So like the geo, the clearance for the bags,
and a lot of companies don't do that particularly. They make bikes, they make mountain bikes.
They make mountain bikes.
But we are seeing a lot more smaller companies, custom frame builders that are focused on bike packing.
Yeah, that's great.
Those are great if you can get custom, but I mean that's you really have to know what you want.
Yeah,
I would say mountain bikes, drop bar mountain bikes, great starting points over like maybe a gravel bike unless you really know, especially if you only have one bike.
It's less limiting. You'll be slower than on a gravel bike, but you can go everywhere.
Yeah. Old woman cyclist says, big conclusion, best to have at least 4 or 5 bikes. I think 7 is the magic spot.
We are trying really hard to not sell that idea, but like we are completely guilty of it.
I've done 2 N-1s in the last 2 years, so I'm pretty happy with where things are.
Yeah.
I got the Katadyn, and I have a second set of wheels that have slicks, so I can do road and heavier gravel. I changed my Taiga mountain bike to the Torngat Tie, which I'll have suspension forks for summer, so I can do mountain bike, single track stuff, and then it's a fat bike in the winter. So I cleared up some room in this place.
I sold my Taiga EXP frame and fork, but then also I bought 4 more bikes. So I'm no, don't take advice.
Oh, and we both got tandems this year too. So
yeah, we both got tandems.
We're gonna be like Dumb and Dumber riding down the road.
Like, yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, I mean, the more time you spend bike packing and the more you get into it, obviously you're probably gonna pick up more bikes in the quiver. But it doesn't mean you necessarily need it. You can have really great adventures with one bike, and Old Woman Sense Cyclist says, that's it. I'll buy 7. And Daniel says, I still need a good touring fat bike. Surly Moonlander looks nice. Be really slow for 99% of the stuff you're going to do.
Oh, yeah. It's a really specific bike.
Even I know Doug in Calgary, he's got one, and he's like, it's super fun, but it has its certain days where it's good.
Niche. It's really niche.
But I do, who did I have on the podcast recently there? Biking Viking.
Yep.
And he's going to ride in Alaska with it. So, yeah.
Oh.
Moonlander it is. Oh, no, sorry, Alaska. Sorry. He is playing that too, but Antarctica.
Nice.
So
yeah, that's the perfect bike.
So,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very good bike.
So, apart from bikes and stuff like that, what is the second most important?
Underrated
Yeah.
tires. Oh, I hate buying tires because they're so expensive.
I love buying tires because I'm in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, tires I think is where you get real value. You can have the nicest bike, and if you don't choose the right tire for it, you're gonna ruin your ride. So I think there's some various aspects to do with tires, and I think in general, wider tires equal more comfort, equals more traction, equals more confidence.
Yeah, with the trade-off of being
So-
slower.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yes and no. I would say professional racers, FKT people trying to get the fastest known time on a route, it might impact them.
Let's name drop Theo there.
Theo, yeah, in 2021, I did the BT 700 in 56 hours something. I got the FKT and on that Opus with 44C tires, and then 2 days later, Theo finished and beat me by 2 hours with 2.6-inch tires.
2.6.
So that is 75 mil tires.
What are you gonna ride on your titanium Panorama?
2.6-inch tires.
You're going for that
Yeah.
FKT.
Yeah, I'm going for gonna FKT it. No, but I mean, part of the reason I'm using 2.6s is because it's designed as a fat bike, and it's got a really big back triangle. And I thought if I put anything smaller, it's gonna look
Skinny.
kind of like, yeah.
There's an
gonna look
expression.
really-
There's an expression for that, but we
There is
won't
it?
go there.
Yeah, okay, it's not appropriate.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I think only if you're really like gunning for fastest known times, or you're racing, sure, tire size is gonna play into it, right?
Knobby versus smooth. So what's your opinion on that? Because I have mine, and
Well, I can give it actually. So the Taiga mountain bike I had for 2 years, it came with, I forget the name of the tire, but they were 2.5s, and they were pretty knobby. And because that bike is sold as a mountain bike that you can definitely bike pack with, but it's definitely mountain bike driven.
Okay.
Really aggressive tire. Last year after the Canadian Show Bikepacking Summit,
Yep.
I rode the 250 with Surge.
Yep.
I forgot at the end of the summit to switch the wheels from the one bike to the other. And so I did that 250K with 2.5-inch knobby tires.
oh god,
And yeah, it was slow. I mean, there were a lot of times there where Surge was waiting for me.
oh my
and
god.
I was just like, I was pedaling like a madman. I'm like, man, this is hard work. And then I
This is
remembered why.
insane.
I looked down, I was like, oh, these tires. Aggressive tread, really good in loose, wet conditions. It was dry that day.
Yeah.
Smooth, low tread tires, fast on hard pack. You might lose, there's a give and a take on everything.
Yep.
If you're bombing down single track trails, your smooth, low tread mezcals, for instance.
Yep.
You're gonna have to go a little slower in the curves and make sure you're aware of where their limitations are.
Yeah. I have an opinion on that
Sure.
actually about like the smooth and the
Smooth is fast.
smooth is fast. Yeah. I was talking about Joe Berroy and Ben Simard about this one actually, and then we're agreeing that I prefer to have a wider contact patch and then being a little bit lower pressure than having like knobs. So like surface contact over knobs, because like you have it's better for your tire to actually deform to the terrain, so you're gonna have traction.
So like mold itself around the rock,
mold itself around, as opposed to like to have like just knobs that just gonna fold on themselves when you're trying to corner and everything. So that's a given. Like, sure, there's limitation for that. Like riding a smooth tire on mud, you're gonna have a fun time. But generally speaking, I'm more going towards a less knobby tire.
Yeah.
And more like a smooth or like semi-smooth tire. I have my favorite tire, and then we're gonna.
So is that like when you have less pressure in your tire, you're getting more grip just because you have more surface
contact
area,
patch? Yeah,
right?
contact patch over knobs. Yeah,
and it's comfortable over the longer run, so long as it's not so low that you're really getting a lot of the sucks from it.
We're gonna talk about that next episode.
Oh, okay.
But like we're as long as you carry a pump
or Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few, well, especially commuting, where I got a low flat tire, where like things started leaking, and all of a sudden I'm just like rolling on the tire, and it's game over.
Too low pressure.
Too low pressure is awful.
Yeah.
Too high pressure, you said, like you just bounce off things, right? Like it's really harsh.
Yeah, you don't have control anymore, because like your tire cannot absorb the impact, and then like it's just a bouncy ball.
And a knobby tire that's too high pressure is not going to do any better than a slicker tire that has the pressure right.
Yeah, the pressure dialed up. Yeah, because the knobby then just like they're just like spike, and then when you turn or when you move around, they just like fold on themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think people obsess over tires? Like it's some kind of science?
Yeah. Yes, they do.
I mean, I often read stuff about tires, but half of it is like in one ear out the other, because it's like in a foreign language.
I obsess over this. I love like TPI and then like grips and stuff like that. But as a matter, like, you don't have to overcomplicate it.
What is TPI? Like, what is a 60 versus a 120? Which is better? Is it like, is it just higher is better?
Higher would be better, because like like you have more thread per inch, TPI.
Oh, okay.
And then you use less rubber, but also more thread per inch using less rubber. The tire will be more supple, so it's able to.
Like less rubber would be stiffer.
No, actually, less rubber with more TPI will make a lighter tire, because you use the rubber is heavier than the nylon, the thread.
Okay.
So it's a tire that is more supple, that can actually move around stuff. The 60 is like riding a brick. So I wouldn't go with like I wouldn't go with anything lower than 60 TPI. Like, I'm not a snob. You can go with something lower than 60 TPI.
You 60.
60. You, David. But 60 TPI is good. 120 is better. Over that is just insane, or for tracks, like track racing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like my fat bike was 60. Is it different than a fat bike just because tires are so big?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yes.
yes. No. It's 120.
120 is the way to go?
Yeah, 120 is the way to go in fat bike.
All right, I'm going to steal my wife's. I'm going to steal my wife's tires.
You get more squish.
Yeah, so people obsess it, but you don't have to overcomplicate it, right? So
No.
Do you think, what should people get? Like, do you have a recommendation?
Let's say it at the same time. Victoria Mezcal.
Victoria Mezcal.
Yeah, well,
I didn't say it at the same time.
Yeah, let's just pause.
No. 1, 2, 3.
Victoria Mezcal. No, Victoria Mezcal's like, if you look at any like bikepacking website ever, any Grand Depart, look at the bike. It's Victoria Mezcal.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a time to check out rigs of the whatever on bikepack.com, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're shopping for bikes and you're trying to figure things out, I mean, if you look at that, you'll see what everybody's riding. Doesn't mean that's what you have to ride, because, you know, people are like sheep. We follow the sheep.
Yeah. You don't have to.
But tires are really important. And if you look at like Tour Divide, 60% of the people are riding Victoria Mezcals. There's a reason for that.
I have trouble, like, because I'm like, I'm not going to just ride one tire because I love to test around.
What have you ridden? What do you like?
The mezcals, I love them because you can put, like, with the right rim, you can actually pump the tire and it's going to pop. Like, so you can save
even tubeless, right?
even tubeless, yeah. But Rene Ayres Oracle Ridge for gravel.
I've never used them. That's the one with the little knobs everywhere.
The little
buttons,
knobs.
right?
So the theory behind the Oracle Ridge is this
Oracle.
Oracle. I'm French. Oracle Ridge is that the knobs are interconnected,
And
and
like little hexagons, right?
they're a little square.
Okay.
And at low speed, they act like knobs. But at high speed, it goes so fast. It's like riding over a pothole. It kind of like go over. So like they turn into virtual slick.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So they're fast on pavement, but they're also grippy enough to kind of mountain bike with it.
Oh,
I
interesting.
did the BT with you with a pair of those, and they were amazing.
Okay.
Unless they were not.
And Maxis DHF DHR for
Yeah.
hardcore. Tell me what
I would
that
say
means.
DHR DHF.
Okay.
But that would be the tire that is like, it's mountain bike. It's a classic mountain bike tire for enduro and trail. Those are solid tires. So if you're going into like very remote, very bike packing, very bushwalking stuff, those are big knobs. And
Anything named Traverse.
yeah, anything main traverse that like the trail seems to disappear for a while, I would use those because they're very grippy, very mountain bike. You could still do it with the Mezcal.
Now and I've used I've used mezcals almost exclusively for bike packing, and then when I was on a trip where my mezcals were really worn out, and they were starting to really suck. The back one kept leaking. I
Yeah.
was pumping it up. I had like black flies around, horse flies, or deer flies around, and I was pumping it up every 5K, trying not to die. So I stopped at a store, happened to be open on a Sunday, and they only had a Continental Race King, and I put that on. It's good.
Yeah,
No
Race King.
problems.
The peyote from Vittoria as well seems like a good one.
Okay.
Also, there's like when I say mezcal, they're different compound. So like there's like the I don't remember the name exactly, but like there's like the ire one, and then the black, and then yeah. So I would say there's one that is like they're not doing. I think they're still doing the gray wall, and it's solid.
Tan wall faster or better than black wall or gray wall?
Oh,
Is it all the same?
I saw the question in the chat.
Is it the same though? The color?
No, gray wall is like you can see it. It's great, but like that, I want to reply to that question because that's a good one actually. Like tan wall versus black non-tan wall. Tan wall is basically the same. It's just like the rubber that is on top of the
Inside the casing, you see that too,
on top
right?
of the casing. It's transparent instead of black. But I don't want to say anything and sound like a snob, but let's take that out of context and everything. If you ask me to choose nowadays in 2026, I wouldn't go tan wall anymore. Because that
Carl Fresso?
because that
What kind of blasphemy is this?
because that that ship has sailed a long time ago.
It's gone with the drop bars.
I
on
think
mountain
it's
bikes, huh?
2020. That's so 2025, and the drop bars and everything. So I don't know. I'm more of a black tire on like a good looking rim, and like you can go crazy with the spoke if you want, but I don't know. I'm not tan wall anymore. There's no difference between the two. There's some tire company that the tan wall is going to be lighter, but
You're gonna be upset with my my Torngat tie. I'm getting a wheel built, but the only fat snow I could find was silver.
oh yeah.
And my dynamo's black.
Oh, unmatching hub. I'm leaving.
So, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I guess really like tires. I mean, the vast majority of people are riding, Rene Hurst, Victoria Mezcals,
Yeah.
Continental Race Kings, some Maxis tires. It's probably your good bets.
Yeah, there's also like other stuff. There's WTB.
I was riding the E-lines. A-line? E-L-I-N-E? What's that? Those 2.5s that came with my bike.
Oh.
I forget. Anyways, yeah.
There's like also like I said, WTB. There's also Terrain. There's also like many other companies.
And there are new companies coming up all the time with new tires.
Ultra Dynamico.
Ultra Dynamico.
Yeah, for gravel, they're amazing. But
Yeah.
like, I don't think they do really like bikepacking tire. Yeah.
I guess the big rule of thumb here would be run the widest tire possible that fits your bike so you can be as comfortable as possible. Now, okay, not the widest tire possible because my Torngat can fit like a 5-inch tire, so 4.5 inch. That would be bad in the summer.
But it's funny because
But
like,
if I go to the desert, it'd be great.
3 years ago, we were all riding like Mescal 29 by 2. Then we started riding the year after 21 by 1. 20 like
29 by 2.1.
Yeah, it's like 21 by 2.1, and then after that, the year after 21 by 25, and then last year was like 35. So I mean, like, we're going bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like it's not because you get a skinny tire that's gonna be faster. So
I'm really excited to put 2.6s and see how it feels.
FKTs for sure, 100%. But
The bike, yes, not this body.
yeah, but we're talking about bikepacking. So
Right.
I don't think the speed is
As important as comfort.
and the reliability. For me, the reliability is right on top of like the speed, because like the flat that you had at the bottom of that hill,
Yeah.
my tire didn't flat, and I could have just continued. And then there's no mosquito, and there's no like
Were you using bigger tires? I don't remember what you were.
I was using the Oracle Ridge, but I had to
and
save.
they were like 2-inch?
No,
they
they
were
were like
48s,
48.
47?
Yeah.
748, something like that.
I had to save your butt, so like I had to stop,
Yeah.
but like I didn't want to stop.
So fit, comfort, reliability, then speed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of that, because you'll be faster if you're not flatting.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you can feel fast with a good set of like super light tires and everything, but like speed is great for the first few hours, and after that, everything starts to hurt.
unless
Everything.
you're a racer. And
You
pro.
don't care, and just you're pro.
I remember my our BT 700 experience,
that's
and
the story that keeps on giving.
keeps on coming back. I rode that with those 44s. I somehow set that FKT very momentarily, and then I couldn't walk for a week. I could barely get out of the car. Like, I would crawl out, and I was just bent over. And as I opened the trunk of my car, I'm like, ah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about saddle next episode, but like the reason why I could walk, I couldn't sit anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all been there. Yeah, so obviously, as we were saying, speed matters, but first, get comfortable. You don't want hands and feet being all numb because you're uncomfortable and you're just absorbing shocks and bumps. I mean, there's ways to help with that. Redshift stems, and seat posts, and
But that's the
who else makes seat posts? I don't even know. Just
Cane Creek, and Redshift, I would say. But like that's the first contact. So like, and make sure that you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Make sure that you can actually put the tire back on the rim, and then they're gonna fit super well. So you can like the Mescal on the carbon rim, you
Right.
can pump that thing up with a small hand pump. You can save a tubeless with that. You don't even need like a tube, an extra tube. You should bring a tube. Don't get me wrong. You should bring a tube, but a Carl.
There you go.
But I would say, just like to close on that, is it's not like an upgrade that we think all the time, but like a lighter tire changed the bike completely. It's like upgrading your wheels, changed the bike completely.
Yeah, comfort allows you to want to get out there again, right? Like if you finish something and you're so uncomfortable, you're beat down, your body aches everywhere, you're chafed everywhere, and you're like, why would I do this to myself again? Like there has to be a level of joy.
Suffering's for racers. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it's not something
Suffering for the paycheck, but in bikepacking there's
no,
no paycheck.
no, there's no paycheck. We pay to get there. Yeah. So
what are our big takeaways on this? I'd say but like we started off with, you don't need a new bike to start bike packing.
No.
You know, riding the bike you already have will show you what you're missing, and then you'll figure things out, and you'll get the bike to suit your needs.
Yeah, and before buying that bike, try to match the bike to the route you're planning to ride. Like if you want, like if you're a crazy person and you just want one bike, then
Kind of sicko would do that.
get the bike that can do everything, but also get the bike that you can ride on the route that you're dreaming of riding. So like it's the one bike do all, but at least you'll have the perfect bike. Yeah.
Yep. And like you said, tires, super important.
Yeah.
Width and pressure can really change your experience. And you really emphasize don't cheap out on tires, right? Like
Yeah.
you can look online, you can find tires for $25, $30 or $50, whatever. Like, sure.
Yeah.
But you're not going to maybe appreciate it.
Rotational weight is way more important than anything weight saving on your bike. So like the fact that those are like two giant gyroscope on your bike, if you lose some weight there, this is why there's carbon rim. This is why there's lighter spoke, because all that weight turning, the bike will feel lighter if you upgrade your tire for something lighter.
And probably the amount that you would save on a better set of tires is more than you would save on upgrading your rims, and much cheaper ultimately.
Yeah, way cheaper.
Then you can worry about your rims.
Yep, yep.
Okay. And prioritizing comfort and fit over speed. So remember, if you're uncomfortable, nothing else is going to really matter.
Yep.
And yeah, build that experience before chasing.
Optimization.
Everybody loves to optimize.
Yeah, optimization is a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Super easy to think that the perfect bike setup is going to make the best bike packing trips. In reality, though, experience makes confidence.
Yep.
Confidence shapes your better decisions, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And better decisions lead to better trips. So it's not necessarily the gear.
Yep.
Although gear's nice.
Yeah. The best bike is the one that you use. That's it. That's the. But also panoramas are nice. So.
XP3. All right, Carl, thanks so much. If anybody has any questions, we are here. Yeah, winter has arriven again.
Yeah.
Full blast here. It's I don't know what's happening here
It's
in
back and forth.
Canada this year.
Do you know that there's no winter this year in BC?
Is it?
Yeah, it's completely clear. There's no winter. The bike shops are already like over their head over there. Just like we live in a
Awful.
beautiful place.
2 years ago, I remember because the Gatineau Park always only opens after everything's dry.
Mhm.
2 years ago, April 15th, they opened. Usually it's May 15th. This year, I'm like, oh man.
But the ferry actually opened in Creo, so you can do the 300.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, it opened today. So
Bikes, boats, and bridges.
Yep.
Ready to go. All right. If there are no questions, thanks for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and keep on pedaling.
see ya.